Hey guys, it's Elo. I hope that you're doing well. This morning I am going to do a full coverage face worth of makeup with some products that I just recently purchased from Sephora. As you may have seen on my Instagram story and feed not long ago. This will only be my second time in my life trying to do a full face of makeup, so it's certainly not going to be perfect, and my technique will probably be non-existent, but I'm doing my best and I'm learning, and it's been a lot of fun so far, so I'm excited to get started. It is early morning right now, and I've just thrown my hair up in a bun out of the shower, which is actually a style that I wear pretty often in real life, but I feel like it doesn't translate very well to camera, so I often try to wear my hair down. But on many days I wear my hair up in this sort of messy bun, either with a headband or with my bangs blow dried. Today I'm wearing it like this just for the sheer purpose of having my hair out of my face while the application process goes on. Unfortunately, I still haven't been able to afford a true ring light, so I'm using natural lighting from the window plus a sort of lighted mirror, which is kind of acting like a ring light. It's incredibly bright, but the setup's not perfect, so obviously there's like streaking of light across my face, and I don't know what kind of challenges that might add to this process, but hopefully it'll turn out okay just the same. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with this Sephora Smooth Primer. Even though it looks like it would just squirt out, it actually has a pump. And it's a clear product that is used to sort of fill in all of your fine lines, pores, wrinkles, all of those things that make us human, so that when you do apply your foundation and all of your other makeup, you have a nice smooth base to work with regardless of your natural skin texture. Step is important because if you put a lot of makeup right onto your skin without any sort of base, you can actually end up making yourself look quite a bit older, because the makeup will just sort of cake into those lines and things on your face, which will give a bit of an optical illusion, making those areas stick out even more. And I tend to think, or at least I've been told a lot in the last year for some reason, that I have pretty nice skin at its foundation. So even for someone like me who has sort of what I would consider minimal, like fine lines, it's still something that helps and keeps you from looking weird once you put on your makeup. Okay. I'm hoping that I don't have any sort of like allergic reaction to these products. I like I said, I put them on for the first time yesterday, and I noticed that my eyes were really bloodshot for the rest of the day, and my concealer, when I put it on my cheeks, like, it stung really badly. So if you know anything about that, please let me know in the comments below what might be going on. It wasn't drastic, so my skin might just be adjusting since I never do this. I don't know. Okay, so I just did like 2 full pumps of primer. I don't know if that's enough, but it feels like I covered my full face. So I'm gonna move on to the next step, which is going to be foundation. If you watched my haul video, you know that this is the foundation that was chosen for me by a color artist at the Sephora store that I went to. Shout out again to Faith. She was very, very kind. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation, and I believe the color was 20 CP. Cool undertone or master tone and pink undertone. And this is a lot more runny than the primer. The primer is sort of like a putty almost. It's more tacky and the texture is thicker, but the foundation feels like if you were to tilt your hand, it would eventually run off, not stay still. So I also apologize for any background sounds. Unfortunately, today my roommate, partner, mate, whatever he is at the moment, it's his last day of work at his job. He got a new job, which is a good thing and an exciting thing. And he's kind of having a half day. His bosses are sort of a little staff team. They're all going out to lunch, and then his sort of manager told him he can leave after that. So I'm kind of forced to film right now, and it is trash day, and I can hear the trash truck making its rounds throughout the neighborhood. And I also do have, for those of you who frequently watch my videos, you might know I have a lot of dogs in the neighborhood that I live in. And they tend to get each other going. And it's something I can't control. But actually, one of you kind souls donated money towards me getting some soundproofing, and I'm also hoping for my birthday to receive a Yeti Pro, which would be great because then I could actually use my MacBook to record, and I might be able to find a little more peace and quiet with that setup than with my current setup. And also a lot of the soundproofing that I've been looking at is more compatible with a microphone like that. It's just very expensive to try to soundproof my bedroom especially because there are two very large windows on this side of my bedroom wall, so the noise kind of travels. I'm just gonna pop open a mirror real quick because I can't see as far as I would like to without my glasses. And I want to make sure that this is blended nicely. One thing I've learned from the videos that I've watched on YouTube, which has been mainly how well, not mainly, it's been 100% how I've learned to try and do this. It's really important when you're doing your foundation to blend it out, which essentially just means that you pull or carry the product out towards your ears and down your neck so that you don't look like you're painted just on your face. It's supposed to make it look more natural if it's a little seamless, I guess. Because the neck and ears will be a completely different color. Although luckily I find that this foundation shade is a pretty close match to my actual skin tone. I'm still having trouble. It's my second day. I'm having trouble blending around my mouth without getting like streaking. I feel like every time I make these motions and sort of pull the product, it leaves like a little residue mark. These dogs are really going at it, so I'm gonna finish blending this and cut the video a little bit, maybe fast forward, and hopefully they won't be still barking when we come back, so give me just a second. Okay. I think that blending the foundation and the next step, the concealer, tend to be the most time-consuming parts. Hopefully I did this okay. It's really hard to tell, especially in this lighting and just with the fact that I'm learning still. So, concealer is the next step, like I said. And this is from the same company, same collection, same color shade, just a little brighter than what I just used for my foundation. So it's a nice match, and the point of the concealer is to brighten the areas that you want to look like you have a nice light glow, and also to get rid of things like under eye bags and any discoloration. So I just put this on the places where I've seen them do it in YouTube videos, and I'm a little nervous because this stung, like I said yesterday, but hopefully it won't sting as badly today. A little bit, okay. This is the only product that kind of smells really, I don't know, chemically to me. And I guess unsurprisingly, it's also the one that hurt. So I don't know. Okay. I feel like I'm getting ready to like play baseball or something. Like putting those black lines under my eyes to reflect the sun. Okay, so I think what you're supposed to do is use the flat side to do the foundation and then the pointed side to do the concealer, because it allows you to get really close and personal into the corner of the eye, which is where a lot of people have darkness. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of try to start working this product in. So I want to, while I'm doing this, just say that I've really enjoyed talking to you guys lately. You know, as my little community here has been growing, it's been really amazing to meet you all and learn about you, hear your stories, and connect with you, which is something that I haven't done a lot with people, especially lately in my life. And it's been making me sort of want to be more open to, and I've definitely started sharing more on my Patreon account that is more personal. I used to only put things into videos and they were kind of still, I don't know, I guess there's just a level of remove when it's something that you've recorded from when you're just typing, talking kind of in real time, messaging back and forth with people. And, you know, a lot of you are really kind to me as things have been kind of, I don't want to say falling apart, but changing in my personal life. And, you know, to that end, I know I mentioned Rich a little bit earlier in this video in maybe a confusing way. He is the guy who I have been living with and dating for 2 and some odd years now, and it's kind of just really complicated right now, and I've never really been in a complicated situation before, because I'm usually very all or nothing. That's kind of my personality, is do it or don't. I don't have time to waste. But in my current sort of situation, you know, we had kind of amicably but still painfully decided to move on. And that's why I kind of say I don't really know if I should call him boyfriend, mate, partner, friend, roommate. It's kind of hard to say for sure, and it still is, because I think sometimes, we want things to go good. We really do care about each other, and we're like best friends. We have, when you live with someone for any length of time, really, but especially a number of years, they kind of become your best friend by default, whether it's a family member or a friend or someone that you're romantically involved with. You're with them all the time. So it's a very special relationship, and it's one that's really hard to let go of or let kind of come apart. You just know that things will never be the same, and that's hard. So real quick, I'm now dipping into this Fenty Beauty powder in the shade Butter, which I'm just gonna pat some down and then use the beauty blender to kind of get all into the skin. Okay. And this product actually smells really good. But anyhow, it's hard to move forward when there's so much that you love and would miss about that person. And I think that it's a hard situation that he and I are in, because we really do care about each other, and we really are each other's best friend. But we're also like in our mid to late 20s, and there's just so much going on with like figuring out work situations and just where we want to be and what we want to do with our lives. And when you're with someone, you lose a lot of, just out of necessity, you lose a lot of opportunity. You can't do whatever you want anymore because you have another person to consider. And it's like that whether you're dating, married, you have a kid, anytime you have someone else in your life, you have to take them into consideration. So, being single is something that in our society is generally seen as like a deficit, and I don't think that it should be. I mean, I think that maybe it would be nice to have someone later on in life, but you just cannot do as much in a relationship as you can out of it. So, not that anyone asked, but just because I don't want to be confusing, Rich and I are in love for all intents and purposes, and most days we want to work things out. And I don't really have the money right now to move away anyway, so we're still living together. We're still very like friendly, amicable. We go out together, we do things together. I just feel like whereas before we were both 1000% committed to the idea that this was gonna be a long-term certain thing, now there's just this looming sort of shadow of uncertainty, and that maybe it'll turn out differently. And that's a hard position to be in, because every single day it's like you're not sure what could happen, I guess, in a way. I don't know. I just thought I should address that a little bit, especially since so many of you were really kind to me in comments on Twitter, Patreon, elsewhere, when I announced that I was sort of going through a breakup, which I guess is still kind of true. I don't really know. I don't know anything for sure. So now we're moving on to brow. I don't have, it actually looks more defined now that I have makeup on, but my brows aren't like strong or very dark. And I've never done brows until yesterday. A lot of the stuff I've never done, so I don't know why I said it like that, but I guess just because brows are such a big trend lately. But I'm pretty much just doing what I've seen on YouTube videos, creating like an outline of the brow and then sort of using the pencil to draw, going in the pattern of the way that the hair is going. And as you saw, I sort of used, this is actually just an old wand from a mascara that I cleaned, and I used this as an eyebrow comb. But now this brow pencil that I just bought also has its own comb on the end. And this is a Sephora brow pencil in the shade Ash Blonde. And I'm just giving myself a bit more of a filled in kind of shape. Especially because I feel like when I'm wearing this much makeup, if my eyebrows are kind of lost, I just sort of look weird, I guess. Or maybe unfinished is a better way to put that. So here you can kind of see the difference. It's not crazy drastic in my opinion. I feel like I could certainly be doing it more crazy, but it definitely looks fuller, and I think it provides a nice sort of like outline for when I fill in my eyeshadow. Hopefully I don't squish my microphone doing this. I also have like a little bit of like a missing spot on both sides. Which is normal. Plenty of people's eyebrows don't grow in perfectly thick and full. I consider people who have like really thick, dark eyebrows to be really lucky because you can kind of shape them however you want. And I also think that like black, specifically black or very, very dark brown eyebrows, they just frame your face really nicely, and I think they give you the ability to like wear certain makeup looks and look really, really good, like especially darker kind of tones. I feel like that I can't really pull off without looking really ghostly. And I also think that they can make certain color eyes really, really stand out, like blues and greens especially. I've always wanted that like evanescence, black eyebrows, black hair with my eyes, because I think that look is so pretty. But you gotta be happy for what you have too, you know. I feel lucky to have what I do have at all anyway. Okay. I think these are relatively symmetrical. Granted, eyebrows are never perfect. The face is not perfectly symmetrical, so it's okay if they're not exactly on point, but they're roughly the same. This one might be a little lower than that one from my view, but I'm happy with how they are for now, especially for my second time. Okay, so I don't know if I'm doing all of this in the right order at this point. Once you have like your base laid down, that primer, foundation, concealer, and the powder, I don't know what the technical next correct step is. I just did my eyebrows, obviously. I don't know if that's how I did it yesterday or not. I don't remember. But the next thing that I'm going to do is take this fluffy angled brush, which feels really, really good, and I'm going to try to give myself some color. So the foundation and concealer really took away a lot of my natural pink and any sort of tan that I had going from the sun. So we need to replace that to a pretty good degree so that I don't just look like Casper. So that's why I'm going to use this Sephora Pro palette, which I think is super pretty. I like the kind of sleek black and rose gold look. And this has those sort of 8 pans of colors. And yesterday I came with this little sort of instruction booklet, and I did the Hollywood highlight option, but I think I'm just going to wing it today to try to have some fun. So they have 4 sort of brown based or nude sort of colors that are bronzers, I believe, or like make the contour. And then they have 2 very pink colors and 2 very champagne type colors. So I'm going to dip the brush into a shade called Art Deco, which is arguably the darkest brown. And I'm just going to put some of this. Oh, that is dark. Lord have mercy. I had way too much product on that, so I'm going to need to fix this. It's a learning curve. So we're just going to buff this out really good as best I can. And then I'll put something lighter over it. But I just kind of think about where the sun hits. When you get sort of tan or burned, you usually get like darker up in your forehead line and then around your temples and your nose pretty much. And this line that you make below your cheekbones is to make you look, you can see because I did it so drastically, unfortunately / by accident, makes you look like you have more of like a high cheekbone. So I don't know if I can fix this or not, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna take a lighter shade. This one's called Hollywood, and I'm gonna try to blend that out some. I may seriously just need to like wipe this off. But you do want to take those lighter shades and put them in the areas that you want to look bright. So like the middle of the nose will get your nose looking smaller if you put darker on the outside of your nose. And your cheekbones, you want that nice highlight. I'm gonna try the shade Really Pretty. I feel like I'm making a lot of mistakes right now, and we're just gonna go with it. For blush, I'm not gonna lie to you, blush scares me because it just reminds me of like old women and people in theater plays. Girl, I look like I definitely did a better job yesterday. I shouldn't have won this. Should have just went with the pamphlet. This Art Deco shade was definitely too heavy-handed. But I always just worry when I put on blush that I'm gonna look like I'm 80 or something. Let's see. I'm going to use a bit of the paparazzi color to try to create a highlight, which, Lord, if it's going anything like it's been going. I will say that even though this palette seems pretty nice, I definitely don't get that same like blinding highlight that I see in like the tutorial videos when they turn and they have that like super pretty streak. I don't get that sort of vibe from this, but that could also be because of the lighting I'm using and the lack of skill that I have. I'm going to use my little MAC fluffy brush to do some of the finer details along my nose and also to try to get this highlight going a little more. And I'm just still using that shade Paparazzi. My forehead looks like it went on a cruise without the rest of my face. But you know, what can you do? Okay. I have a little makeup towel off to the side that I'm using to wipe away the excess. There's also a lot of what they call fallout from this palette, I've noticed. I don't know if that's because it's new or if that's because of the way I'm using it or if it's cheap pigment. I'm not 100% sure at this stage in my blossoming career. You can kind of see a little bit of a shimmer there. Yeah, it looks like really drastic on camera, but in person it actually doesn't look as sort of like brown toned. As it does on the camera. I'm just worried to put any more like shiny color. I'm gonna use this Glambitious. Because it doesn't have, sorry I was blocking the camera. It doesn't have a shine to it. And I'm gonna use my little MAC brush again to put a bit of the darker color called Muse. And I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna draw it down from my eyebrow. And you can immediately see that that shadow is creating the illusion of having like a slimmer nose. It really changes, you can change your face shape a lot with makeup. Which I think is pretty cool, especially since, you know, lately with everything that's been going on in my personal life, I've been eating too much. So I'm getting that nice double chin that I don't really like that much, and being able to use a little bit of makeup to hide that a bit is a nice thing. I really hope I don't look as crazy on camera as it looks like I do, because I swear in person, I mean, it's not nearly as drastic as when I look into the viewfinder. Okay. I think I've done enough damage with that. Yesterday I felt like I didn't put enough color back into my face. I was just a little washed out looking. And today I did too much, so hopefully third time will be a charm and I'll nail it right in the middle. But for now, it is what it is. And we're gonna move on to eyes. Okay. So I have this little, again, Sephora palette called I Love, and it has 7 shades to it. Here. Okay. And the big one, they told me at the store, is called a base. I don't know what that means, but my interpretation of that is that I'm supposed to put it all over my lid before I do anything else. So that's what I did yesterday, and that's what I'm gonna do today. And I'm just using a little eyeshadow brush that I also picked up from Sephora. And you can see this base is sort of like a milky white, kind of. It's much lighter than it looks in the pan, in my opinion. And I'm just going to use it to coat my whole eyelid. And also, since I'm putting it next to the dark sort of swatch I did of that bronzer for my nose, and also the darkness that I created for my eyebrows, it's giving like a real definition to the eyelid space. And so far, that is why I have enjoyed doing my eyes last, because then I can just like really clearly see where my area to work with is. Okay, so next I'm just going to dip into one of the muted brown shades and start creating the color, which I have very hooded eyes, which means I don't have much of a lid that's like open when my eyes are open. So I'm going to use this to create like a bigger eyelid area. So the area that they call the crease, now instead of being this little tiny line in there, it's this big, much more open space, so that when my eyes are open, you can still see the pigment. If I just put it from my natural crease inward, you wouldn't be able to see any of the color because my eyes close up. The lids close up when my eyes are open. If that makes sense. Kind of like a wrinkle. A wrinkle in time. Getting wrinkles in time, I'll tell you that. I still can't believe I'm about to be in my last year of my 20s. Makes me kind of sad. Actually, I don't know if that's true because my 20s have been very volatile. It hasn't been quite what I've expected. I thought I was going to kind of meet someone nice, settle down, you know. I still, I've never wanted children, as most of you know, but just have a career and do house projects and go to little events around the town and try good food and stuff. And it has not been that, let me tell you. I've been a nomadic, crazy person. Much more emotional than I anticipated. No real sense of belonging yet. Now I'm just taking one of these lighter shades. It's almost got like a pinkish hue. And I'm putting that over the actual lid part. Okay. I know this is looking crazy. Hopefully it's gonna fix here in a minute. Now I'm just gonna take the lightest shadow and put it in the center to hopefully give a little bit of a glistening look. And put a little by my brow too, why not? Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to my MAC fluffy blendy brush and do what it's supposed to do, which is blend. Just take away those harsh lines, hopefully. I might need to neutralize this. Oh no, actually that blended kind of nice. But here's the difference between a blended and non-blended eye. You can just see the colors a lot more distinctly, like bands. This side is a little more soft. I know I'm probably making crazy faces, but that is just part of the game, baby. Makeup faces are really real. I'm gonna tap just a little bit with my blending brush into that base shade and try to soften this crease color that I put in just a little bit more. Okay, we're coming along, I think. our next step would be to do some eyeliner. And I have two different kinds of eyeliners that I feel pretty competent in using. One of them is a liquid liner. This one is the L'Oreal Carbon Black Telescopic Liquid Liner, which I like, but I have very watery eyes often, especially if I go out into the sunlight. So unfortunately, if I wear this on a sunny day, I'm probably going to cry off the wing and never stays no matter what I do. So instead of using a liquid liner, I often like to use this, which is also by L'Oreal, and it's a lacquer liner. It comes with a little brush and a pot of color, and you just sort of take the color onto the brush, don't need a whole lot, and just draw on your eyeliner. So I don't know if I can do this like this. You're not supposed to pull on your eye when you're doing this, but it's really the only way that I can kind of do it. So yeah, I don't want to attempt to not do that. So give me 1 second. I'm just gonna really quick. So basically all I do is I start in the middle and I work my way toward the inner corner, and if ever I'm like blinking a lot like this, I just don't even try to put the brush down at that moment, because I know that I'll leave a lot of marks. So just wait until your eye kind of calms down, and I draw from the middle to the inner corner, and then I draw from the middle out and just sort of do a little wing. I wish I could show you this, but I really don't feel confident that I can do it in the viewfinder. I'll try. No, I can't. Okay, 1 second. I'm worried. Okay, I'm gonna get my bigger mirror over here. Okay, so step 1, middle to inner. Step 2, inner to outer. Hopefully this will focus. Okay. And then you just repeat the same thing on the other side. I usually just get a little more pigment on the brush before I do the other side. And the good thing about this brush is that it's already really flat, so you really just, it doesn't take a very steady hand, and I don't have a very steady hand. You just kind of brush, and it's already the way it needs to be. And this stuff is kind of like a thicker putty kind of, so it stays in place really well. And you don't need to like finesse it very much to make it work. And then you can just sort of add to your wing if you need to. I feel like mine are never exactly the same length, but whatever. Just get it as close as you can to your own perception. And do remember to wipe off your brush when you're done, because if not, the bristles will get very stiff and then it won't be as easy to use. Okay, so we've got eyeshadow, eyeliner, face is done, maybe looking a little janky, but done. Next would be to curl your eyelashes, which opens up your eyes and gives you a nice bright look. Most people's eyelashes kind of grow almost parallel or down a little bit. Some lucky few people have naturally kind of floating eyebrows, eyelashes. But most of us need to curl them to achieve that look. And I always wipe my curling lash curler off in between curls, because sometimes the metal picks up some of the pigment that's on your face and you can accidentally make marks on yourself where you don't want them. And I just do both sides twice. Okay. I'm actually going to go back to Sephora in maybe a couple weeks when I get more confident with doing my makeup. And I'm going to have them teach me to put on lashes, false lashes, because I've never done that before. And I'm really scared, since there's glue and you're doing it right near your eyeball. And I don't want to pull out my eyelashes or anything. But at Sephora, if you buy a pair of eyelashes, they will do what's called a lash and dash, which means they'll put them on for you right there in the store and teach you how as they're doing it. So my store associate was telling me, come in with your makeup fully done, and that way you can wear them out. And the application / teaching doesn't cost anything. It just is free with the purchase of the lashes. I have a little bit of mascara dots that I'm gonna have to, you can kind of see, get with a Q-tip, but I didn't bring any Q-tips over here at the moment. So last but not least is for the lips. This is a lip balm / sugar scrub. And I did buy a lipstick yesterday. It's like a really cranberry shade. But it's a little too intense for me, so I may return it and get something that's closer to my natural lip, because I actually really like how my natural kind of lip color looks when I have a full face of makeup. So can't forget the setting spray. This stuff makes your makeup stay on your face and not transfer to pillowcases, clothing, anything like that. So once you are set with some spray, oh, that feels good. You are ready to go. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this process. I'm so sorry about the crazy dogs and other interruptions, but I had fun. I'll try to take some pictures and include them. And I hope that you guys have a great day. If you want to see me do a different makeup look, maybe something a little more costumey or in line with a character, cosplay, something like that, let me know in the comments below, or Instagram, Twitter, anywhere is fine. And I will hopefully see you in my next video.